What's going on, guys? Bexio back, and today we get a brand new video looking at Kevin O'Leary talking about Bitcoin, crypto, blockchain. He's recently kind of flipped around. He used to be someone not so in favor of Bitcoin and blockchain, but he turned around in a couple years ago, basically like the beginning of 2020, 2021-ish, started actually learning about it, figures out, wow, this is actually something, and he doesn't own Bitcoin and Ethereum and a bunch of other altcoins, but he does act like a VC, something that you guys need to keep in mind when you're listening to someone like Kevin O'Leary or an investor like that who acts like a VC because they're not necessarily believing in everything they buy. But we can see right here, he is talking about Shark Tank. Kevin O'Leary explains why he's buying the dip in Bitcoin and Ether and says the collapse of risky tokens will help the crypto market in the long run. Obviously, probably help it in the long run. You know, nobody seeing these things collapse, get them out of here. Get everyone out with the bad ideas. Get them out before it's too late. But right now, you can see right here, the ventured capitalist explained that he has been doubling down on tokens, including Bitcoin and Ether, as well as various Web3 projects, even though he acknowledges that not every investment will be a winning bet. This is why you cannot just think, because someone like Kevin O'Leary owns my favorite coin, my whatever your favorite altcoin, random coin is. Just because Kevin O'Leary might own it doesn't mean it's going to be successful. So this is what VCs do. This is how they work. This is how you invest as a VC. You buy or you invest in 30, 40, 50 companies, or in this case 30, 40, 50 cryptos, and you need one or two to actually hit big, make it big, become a mainstream type of thing, and the rest of them can go to zero and you'll be all right because you had two unicorns that made it big, made back all the losses that you had before, plus you made money. So that's how he's investing in his portfolio. So just because he owns something that you like, some random altcoin, and you're like, oh my God, Kevin O'Leary owns it, it doesn't really mean much because that one can go to zero and he's all right with that and he will be good. He's planning for it actually. But he went on to say here, I'm not selling anything long term. You just have to stomach it. You have to understand that you'll get volatility and that some projects aren't going to work. So, he explains it. He knows everything that he's invested in is not all going to work. He's planned for that. He wants one or two unicorns that blow up, that go mainstream, that are just used in everything, and he's all right with watching the 30 other positions go to zero because of the ones that win will be able to make up all of it. It says here he currently holds 32 positions in digital assets, including Solana and the blockchain firm Polygon. So a couple of the random things that he owns. I mean, we've seen the problems with Solana already. Not very decentralized at all. Very centralized. That's how you get your fees down. That's how you get your transaction time down. But it's also how you shut down the blockchain. So they've been shut down many, many times. Many problems. He owns it. And Solana could very well run into way too many problems that it can do. Go to zero. He'll be fine. He's planning for it. But if you are all in on Solana because Kevin O'Leary owns it, you're like, this guy is a big name investor, it doesn't mean that some guaranteed thing's going to happen. And talks about the future of the crypto sector. O'Leary noted that a recent crypto collapse, such as that of stablecoin Terra and sister token Luna, are events that teach investors caution and can actually help further the technology underpinning digital assets. I mean, I guess you can look at it as put a positive spin on it, I guess. Uh, but this has been done before. So to say people are going to learn from it, Terra didn't learn from it. Algorithmic stablecoins have been done before. They've failed before. There has not been a single one that hasn't failed. And, Terra and UST and Luna, they didn't learn from it. Do Kwon didn't learn from it. He went out, did an algo stablecoin, and shocker, it failed because every single other one in the past has failed. Just because there's been ideas that are new, that don't work, and that don't working, doesn't mean people aren't going to continue doing the dumb ideas. I guarantee you we will see another algo stablecoin that catches hype because it's so technical to kind of understand how an algo stablecoin works and why it works or why it doesn't work when it doesn't. That many people don't care. They see UST, it's a 1-to-1 peg, it's $1, and then we can go on Anchor and get 10%. And then they do that until they can't. And then it all collapses and you lose everything. So, I mean, I don't think this is the end we'll see of it, but we'll see. And he goes more in depth here of Luna. Luna raised $30 billion. No one's going to use their idea again. I mean, obviously, we've seen that in the past. It's not true. The collapse educated everybody that this isn't the way to build a stablecoin. It's important for the education and the maturation of the market. Again, we've seen it time. This isn't the first algo stablecoin. This isn't the last, probably. So just because it has happened and failed before doesn't mean someone will come up with it and try and market it and hype it up and keep it going as long as possible and then pull out their money at the last second before it all collapses and make sure they stay rich and everybody who got involved in it, they go broke. And then they launch Luna 2.0. But a big point that he does go after, which is massive because a lot of people talk about this in Bitcoin and in crypto, is ultimately the veteran investor isn't just betting on crypto or the blockchain, but the human resources that he sees piling into the sector. Look at an MIT graduating class of engineers. The smartest people want to work on the blockchain. So you've got the majority of the best intellectual capital in the world solving poor outcomes on the chain. Why wouldn't you expect that to work? That is something massive that is actually happening in Bitcoin. I know when people go to Bitcoin conferences and these like traditional investors go to Bitcoin conferences and listening to people speak and what they're building and all that, all of them always say these are some of the smartest people I've ever met in the same room, and some of the smartest people working on these problems and working on Bitcoin. And we see still smartest people going into crypto too. So there's a lot of intellectual capital, the smart people flowing into the space. And when you have that much just kind of not money, instead of money capital, it's work power and people capital and ideas. And when you have all of that flowing as well, it's pretty hard to beat that because it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where if somebody thinks that blockchain and crypto is going to be successful and they want to work on it and they go ahead and learn it and then they go work on it and everybody does that, then it's going to be successful because everybody thinks it's going to be successful. So everybody goes and makes it successful. So it's like self-fulfilling. And I could very easily see that happening. And we know that there's very smart people working on Bitcoin, very smart people working on Ethereum, and working in the crypto industry in general. And I think Bitcoin is going to be the major winner, and there's going to be maybe a couple other coins out of the 20,000 that we have right now. But Bitcoin definitely solidified. Ethereum, I mean, pretty close to solidified at this point. But it is good to see someone like Kevin O'Leary kind of changing his mind, going against what he thought before. And Michael Saylor did the same thing. Michael Saylor in like 2014 or something said Bitcoin is going nowhere and it's dead and it's some worst thing in the world. And now you see he's one of the biggest holders of Bitcoin. So he's actually changed his mind, done his research. It seems like that's what people do when they don't actually know Bitcoin or research it or know anything about it, is when they say, yeah, it's a scam, it's a Ponzi scheme, it's going to zero and nothing's ever going to fix it. Then they look into it, research it, and then see what it's all about and say, wow, this is actually not a Ponzi, not a scam, and it's actually doing things that could change the world. And they change their mind. So I'm sure there's more people that don't like Bitcoin today that will like it in a few years when they eventually start to learn about it and maybe push themselves to learn about it. But until then, we'll see who does that. We'll see what everything happens for that. But big name investors are coming out. It's more popular to talk about Bitcoin now. It wasn't before. It was frowned upon. Now big name investors coming out, talking about it, liking it, opens the door to everybody else doing it. But as always, this is going to do it for this video, guys. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe when they're to 1,000 subscribers. I'll see you guys in my next video.